Frankly, I didn't know. I didn't know whether I was going to be invited to the party. I was on the stairwell and sobbing, and lots of tears were coming down my eyes, and it was the most vulnerable moment of my life, just waiting on the stairwell for someone to come out the door. And I think that they had forgotten me there. It was really vulnerable. Please come to our party, but we're going to vet you first, so please sit on the stairwell until you're called. I had been at home minding my own business in my attic when I got the email. The email was terrifying. You're invited to the most illustrious party on the planet. It's for dignitaries, it's for people of consequence. And meanwhile, I had been in my attic for several years. And I had long forgotten that I am a person of consequence. I had a diet of strictly scrambled eggs with sharp cheddar cheese and lemon salt. And kielbasa turkey sausage. So you can imagine me just kind of scruffing that up for several years. And there was coffee too. There's the door to the attic, and there's the a doorknob and a keyhole, and there was light that came through the keyhole. And then, like for dogs, there's that flap at the bottom of the door. And that's where the food would come in, and I always had a moment of anxiety with respect to the flap and the coffee, whether the flap would knock over the coffee, and it never did. And so there was no light outside of the room when the food came through. There was no real sound, or just the imperceptible sound of a shoe on carpet, just the weight of the person on carpet if you listened through the keyhole, which is precarious. Another moment of vulnerability, because what if a key came through and went into my ear? So you can imagine, after several years of this, I thought of myself as a person of no consequence, but evidently the email suggested otherwise. Evidently I had an illustrious career before I absconded to the attic to work on my magnum opus. That magnum opus, well, let's just say that before I went into the attic to work several years on my magnum opus, I was much different than I am now. There was a kind of alchemical purification of my body-mind so that all of the karmic impurities were sizzled away in the process of refinement in the crucible of attention and focus, dedication, concentration. When I'm at the computer working on my magnum opus, I'm not allowed to check anything. No Facebook. And when I sit there, I have this laser-like absorption. I'm just like in this aerodynamic energy. Whatever thought I have, I Google. But I don't get distracted by anything else on the screen, and I don't have this random moment where I take a discursive or tangential leap into another thought. I am exclusively focused on the subject matter at hand, and I've gotten to the point where I only have one thought at a time. And what I'll do is I'll trace the trajectory of that thought from its inception to its conclusion, the arc of meaning, and I'll ride upon it like a roller coaster. And it's quite something to do that. Imagine you're on a roller coaster in your favorite theme park, and the cart on the roller coaster is the corpuscle of thought, weaving in and out of meaning. But it's not so simple, because that corpuscle of thought enacts the scenery, enacts the roller coaster, enacts the amusement park. And it's not just a thought. It's you. You're the corpuscle. You are the magical I am as it instantaneously reifies as this or that. So you can imagine I'm there on Google, roller coasting away through the internet, one thought at a time. I'm correcting so many mistakes in the world, and I'm connecting the dots that have been hitherto unconnected. This is my magnum opus, but the difficulty is I only have one meal a day, and it's slid through the flap in the door like I'm a dog. So you can imagine that I was totally perplexed, flabbergasted, and flummoxed when I got the email that said we would like you to come to our party. But please wait out in the stairwell until you are vetted. Vetted for what? Evidently, there's conference behind that door, discerning whether I am of the proper merit, whether I am significant enough intellectually, realized enough spiritually to go through the door. And what am I going to do there? Evaluate whether the other people who follow me, who stay on the stairwell, whether they're adequate, acceptable. Meanwhile, what's happening is that I'm starting to depart from the roller coaster. When I was at my desk on the internet, Googling with one thought at a time, eyes on target, eyes on target, eyes on target, tracing the corpuscular trajectory of my I amness through thought after thought after thought, I experienced no confusion. I was at the frontier of my field, the leading edge of my expertise. I became renowned because I created some of the most exceptional work without knowing what my work was about. And if I had to guess, there on the stairwell, tears streaming down my eyes, they were trying to vet me because they weren't sure what would happen. I would not know. It would be beyond me personally to know. My whole work, the magisterial corpus, predicated upon not knowing, committed to Googling, but not being distracted. You could experiment at home. You could do this. You could lock yourself away in your attic and just simply pursue one thought at a time. You would get so locked in to the granularity of the present moment that you would have nothing but a peak experience, extended indefinitely in elongated zone, a samadhi of cognition. You would become, in effect, unstoppable, imperturbable, and excruciatingly vulnerable because of the unknown. Why don't they want me? What's behind the door? I don't have my computer on the stairwell. I just brought nothing. My phone is just a flip phone. And I have a $10 plan that I renew once a month. It's just texting, phone calls, and I don't talk to anybody. I would love to send these people behind the door a text or a phone call. But I know better. What you don't understand, what they don't understand, what I am only beginning to dimly understand, is that I'm still in the attic. I only get one meal. Scrambled eggs with sharp cheddar cheese. Lemon salt. I can faintly taste some almond milk scrambled in with the eggs. Turkey kielbasa and coffee. I'm tracing one thought today. It's the thought of my escape. I have moved so meticulously from one thought to the next thought. I have done this as a massively transformative act on a planetary scale. I was arguing with somebody in my mind, one thought at a time. We were there. That's the completion of one thought. At a stream. That's thought number 2. I laid it out very carefully. Thought number 3. We were looking at the stream together. Thought number 4. I posited. The stream is absolutely wet. Thought number 5. He disagreed. Thought number 6. I became very nervous. I thought to myself, now, going forward, I'll stop elucidating which thought followed which thought in numerical order. You can discern. The argument essentially consisted of whether that stream was wet. He did not believe that the stream was wet. I said the stream is wet. And he had a very abstract, metaphysical perspective that effectively annihilated the wetness of the stream. And I was like, incredulous. That's not possible. That stream is wet. The very definition of a stream is wet. And he's like, no. Are mind streams wet? Now, I must concede that was a brilliant point. A mind stream. A mind stream is effectively what we're talking about now, what I've called a roller coaster when I was sitting in my attic for years, tracing one corpuscle after another through the amusement park and landed in the stairwell waiting to be vetted by the community behind the door. But here, he said that that stream has no wetness. It's only a mind stream. I said, well, it is a mind stream, but it's not only a mind stream. That's water. It's wet. This is a very smart man. When someone abides in such uncompromising conviction, you start to doubt yourself. I'm looking at what I believe to be a tributary, a creek, a rivulet of wet. He's 100% convinced that there is no wetness to that stream. He has a brilliant analytical intellect. Meanwhile, I'm like, well, there's only really one way to prove this, and I leap off of the roller coaster in midair when it's at a crescendo. And I dive and I do a few flips as a flourish, as a rhetorical gambit in the moment to show my prowess and my expertise at defying the laws of gravity, and I plunge in headfirst and a swan dive. The water is wet. The stream is definitely wet. And there I am, backpedaling, luxuriating in the waves. Naked, of course. I've been in my attic for several years. You don't think I'm walking around there with clothes? He turns. He's blushing. He thinks it's homoerotic to look at me. Yo, man, the stream is wet. It's just wet. Now, I have the conviction that I previously lacked. I have the conviction now. But like any brilliant, analytical, intellectual, he's still got his conviction. He doesn't care. Why? Because he prioritizes his perspective over mine. Fucking imagine that. I'm there. I'm splashing around. I'm spitting water out of my mouth like it's a fountain. I'm experiencing the wetness of the stream. One thought at a time, but it's deeper than that. The thought is incidental, it's trivial, it's epiphenomenal. It's after the fact. It's ex post facto. The stream is wet. This intellectual will not be convinced, because it would be the destruction of his worldview. And in fact, for him, it's impossible that I'm in the stream, that I'm experiencing the water as wet. He annihilates the reality right in front of his eyes, because it doesn't agree with his theorem, because he cannot be on that roller coaster. And that is my magnum opus. It's that roller coaster in the stream on the stairwell. Do you understand why I was invited to that party and why they have to vet me in the stairwell? I am in a stream on a roller coaster asserting the water is wet, one thought at a time, but the thought is simply cotton candy. It's popcorn, it's a soda, it's one of those little teddy bears you win in the skee ball, because you're throwing a baseball and you're knocking over the target. Do those people really want me in their room with them, establishing beyond a shadow of a doubt that water is truly wet? But you have to actually enter the stream that is a mind stream in your addict. That is the roller coaster of the wetness of the moment. That is a destructive force. You don't let that lightning through the door. So I'm too potent and too magnificent. My sperm count is too high and my semen is too rich for the people behind the door. So what I do, and I don't even send them a text or a phone call, because I don't have that capacity on my flip phone. I get up from the stairwell, I walk down the stairs, and I exit. And there's water everywhere. And it's very, very wet.